Tonight, officials in major U.S. cities are racing against time as they try to find shelter for thousands of migrants sleeping as winter sets in. In New York City, officials are offering a free one-way ticket out of the Big Apple for migrants willing to leave. In Chicago, lawmakers are struggling to house both migrants and the existing homeless population. And with temperatures dropping fast, their deadline to move people indoors is getting closer every day. Emily Fenn is in Chicago, where migrants and locals are waiting for a more permanent solution tonight. Emily.
Well, Kelsey, that's absolutely correct. As of this week, Chicago has been able to relocate migrants from at least 5 different police stations scattered throughout the city, but there are still nearly 2,000 that remain that are still waiting for relocation to temporary shelters, just like the migrants that you can see on the sidewalk in tents outside of this police station behind me. As you mentioned, Kelsey, the temperatures here in the Windy City are dropping as the notoriously cold Chicago winter fast approaches.
These families, who, by the way, they're not illegal. They're asylum seekers.
The city of Chicago is ramping up efforts to relocate asylum seekers living on sidewalks outside of police stations and at O'Hare Airport, with frigid winter weather conditions fast approaching. Chicago's Office of Emergency Management and Communications confirming at least 5 police stations have been officially cleared out this week, noting the push to quickly move migrants to temporary shelters comes, quote, in anticipation of the winter weather. More than 1,700 migrants are still awaiting placement at shelters, but it's just the first step to a more permanent solution. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is pledging to move forward with a plan to build winterized base camps, which can house up to 2,000 asylum seekers, yet multiple locations are still under consideration. The plan has already drummed up concern among Chicago residents, even sparking protests in neighborhoods where city officials are planning to build the winterized camps.
We hear the frustrations, we hear the concerns, and getting to the other side of this is going to take all of us.
Chicago resident Travis Wilson says he has seen the conditions the migrants are living in firsthand. He says the lack of help from the city has inspired the church across the street from this police station to step up, providing donations to help migrants stay warm while they await replacement.
Lakeview Lutheran Church has been trying to help with assisting and allocating spare insulation, whether it be blanketing or tarping or any spare tents.
Since August of 2022, more than 25,000 migrants have been bused or flown to the Windy City from states like Texas, posing a challenge for Chicago officials to provide adequate housing options. And the overwhelming surge in migrants is not just a problem unique to Chicago. In New York City, Mayor Eric Adams has been pleading with the Biden administration for assistance for months. The city is now housing more than 65,000 migrants, something he says is a drain on the Big Apple's resources.
This is probably one of the most painful exercises I've gone through. It's going to be extremely painful for New Yorkers, and that is why we continue to say we need help.
And Kelsey, here in Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson has indicated plans to move the migrants from the temporary shelters to these winterized base camps starting in January. So a lot of progress left to be made in just a few short weeks. And something else important to note, the food pantries here in Chicago have been reporting an increase in demand from the migrants. So it's just another example that shows that the migrants really are depending on donations in order to get by. The workers at the food pantries say that they don't believe that the migrants are getting enough food and they don't have access to healthy options. Kelsey.
Emily Fenn, live for us in Chicago this evening. Thank you.